that while we have increased the number of students of color in our schools, that we have not truly integrated our schools, and as a consequence, we are far from achieving the original impact of that original legislation. Second point that I would make is that while we have talked about integration, and I think in the original language it spoke primarily to majority or European students versus students of color, integration today is far more expansive than that. In the St. Paul schools, where there are 30% of the students are African American, 30% Asian, 13% Latino, and 2% Native American, we mix in with that body students from Somalia, from Ethiopia, from Eritrea, from Liberia, from Oromo, tribes and classes of students that we had not envisioned when that law was originally passed. 75% also, if we want to talk about integration, are, as I said, students of color, but a great number, 71%, are also students who would be 133% below the poverty line. And
it's a serious issue. This is not just a political vote against Minneapolis and St. Paul. This is about the education of the most vulnerable children, about the poorest children in the state. So I hope you take this seriously. I hope that you at least read this policy and take a moment to understand what it is that you're approving today. Because in page 53, what you're approving is a reallocation of money that comes from these three districts, and it's going to go to your district to implement a policy that we don't know what it is.
Senator Olson.
Thank you, Madam President. And the status quo has delivered us the worst achievement gap in the country while making, and I haven't called attention to it, but you've got a piece of paper here that was put together by some of our nonpartisan staff that gathered data from the state websites. We have been a very heavy investor in education in our core cities. Among the ones that are indicated here, we are second highest, 134% over average. And if you look at the lower part, where the achievement gap in reading, we are the highest, 50%. This is not taking away money from education, and it's not taking away money just from those three districts. All of the districts that were a part of it are part of that pool. And I would suggest that we know what works.